With Attorney Tony Viña, faculty member of the UP College of Law, joining us again this morning. Good morning, Attorney. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Angelo.
Attorney, what do you make of these institutions stepping forward to urge the Senate to proceed with the trial?
I think there's an all-of-nation consensus that proceed forthwith, di ba? Which is the immediate, in fact, late na, di ba?
Yeah.
Should have done in March the moment articles were received by the Senate. They should have convened in court kahit mag-recess sila. Kasi hindi naman siya legislative function, the continued pa rin ng process sana.
Right.
At this point, we would have already had at least mga pleadings, mga motions to dismiss, mga motion to admit evidence. And so and then June 2 sana nakapag-trial na sila. I don't know matapos ba nila, but it's okay. Pwede naman siya itawid to the 20th Congress. In any case, they can do that this week, di ba? I don't understand why I have to wait till Wednesday, the last day, when all they really have to do is to convene as an impeachment court.
Yeah, that's right.
Diba? Because admittedly, the first thing they do when they convene as an impeachment court is then to issue summons to Sara Duterte, ask her to reply. Lahat yan pleadings mo muna yan for the first 2 weeks at least, di ba? So, hindi ko and why will that, I couldn't understand, Senator Cheese, who's our alumnus and also, used to teach with us the UP College, so he knows his law.
Yeah.
So I don't, tweet like when it was received, or even to start the trial earlier this week. It will, hindi naman siya sagabal. It will not be an obstacle to legislative work.
Yes, Attorney, initially kasi when surveys came out and yung numbers ni Sara Duterte, VP Sara came up, a lot of people said and pundits were saying biglang bumagal or yung pagdi-decide ng Senate bumagal. With regards to that, maybe it's out of fear because kinakapahan nila kung ano yung public sentiment regarding Sara Duterte. But now, you have a snowballing of pressure from civic society groups and educational groups. Do you think this can shift the narrative, maybe not force, but persuade a lot of the senators to push through with this?
Yes. But of course, we are calling everyone to converge in the Senate on the next 3 days, but especially on Wednesday. Kasi hindi pa rin online lang, statement lang ito, di ba? That's not enough. You have to show that there are thousands of people outside who will be angry at them if they do not do the right thing, di ba?
Yes.
Alam niyo yung sinabi mo about what you thought you said about Sara Duterte. There's a connection between a trial and conviction.
That's right.
Right? We're not yet at the stage of convicting Sara Duterte. They should not be afraid. Surely there are, for this Congress, 12 senators. We only need 12 senators to proceed with the trial. You don't even need, actually, Senate President Escudero can actually just say, let's impeachment court. No need for the rest to agree. But he said he wants the Senate to agree. That then so be it. Let everyone vote. Let have the majority vote.
But what do you make of the 19-day timeline proposed by Senator Francis Tolentino, adding that the prosecution panel may trim down the articles of impeachment from 7 to 2 evidences only? What do you make of that po?
This is all
that doable?
You read, all doable if they want to. No? I mean, so the 7 articles of impeachment can be collapsed. That's the purpose. Into probably 3 distinct ones. The heaviest one is actually the corruption from the use of confidential. That's the one which is most damning for VP Duterte.
Kasi
Um,
oo.
So yun, I think that they can do an accelerated timeline so that there's political will.
Yeah.
You know, my that even with even with the adjournment of Congress, the impeachment court can go on because the impeachment court is not the Senate. Forget that the impeachment court is the impeachment court composed of senators.
Right.
So that's like the Presidential Electoral Tribunal. The Presidential Electoral Tribunal is not the Supreme Court. It is composed of members of the Supreme Court. The Senate Electoral Tribunal is not the Senate. It's composed of 6 senators and 3 justices of the Supreme Court. The confirmation on the commission on appointments is not the Senate or the House. It is composed of the Senate President and 12 members each of the Senate and the House. So
Right.
this work can go on even when Congress has adjourned.
Pero nanggagaling po kasi si Senator Tolentino doon sa place niya, sa stand niya na hindi na pwedeng ituloy yung 19th Congress, yung impeachment trial sa 20th Congress. Kaya daw po, ito yung pinopropose niyang timeline na gawin na yung impeachment trial with this 19-day timeline.
And that's one possibility if they want to do that. I mean, I don't know if it's possible to do that. And the reality is that when he made that statement, I think the privilege speech dyan, nagkamali siya doon. Diba? Na gusto niya o hindi na pwede tumawid. The majority of constitutional scholars and teachers like me, we believe na pwede siyang itawid. We can cross over to the 20th Congress because this is not legislative work. Legislative work dies when the current session ends, but not other work that can continue on behind this. But that's not really the impeachment court being Senate being a continuing body.
But Attorney, what's better for everyone? No? Do we go with the timeline proposed by Senator Tolentino, or we should just allow it to cross over to the 20th Congress and then the trial should commence?
I think it's probably safer to go to the 20th Congress.
Okay.
Commence in the Congress, and do whatever you can in the 19th Congress na possible. But I think it should probably go over to the 20th Congress.
But with all of the things that are happening right now po, no, yung mga delays dyan sa Senate regarding this impeachment complaint, ano po sa tingin nyo, how does this will affect po yung credibility ng Senado as an institution of credibility? Kasi may mga sinasabi nga po, like si Senator Gatchalian, sabi niya, baka mamaya tuluyan na nga magsabi yung ibang tao tulad before, na i-abolish na nga yung sa Senate because of what they're doing right now.
Exactly. Alam mo, I'm a historian of the Senate. I've studied the Senate for pre-martial law and post-martial law. Its most glorious moment was when the Senate voted no to the ratification of the U.S. military bases agreement that led to the expulsion from the military bases in Clark and Subic. Glorious moment yun. There were thousands of people outside the Senate always. Yan kailangan natin gawin in this next few days, and when the 20th Congress begin, and when the voting for conviction will happen. Kailangan yun. Its worst moment, its most inglorious moment was EDSA 2, right? What was led to EDSA 2 when they a majority refused to open very basic lang, evidence. This issue now is about evidence. Diba? Ang sabi namin sa UP College of Law statement na dinraft ng Constitutional Department led actually by our brilliant young professor, Paulo Tomase. This is the right of the people to accountability. Diba? And the Senate must give duty, and they must do that duty.
Yes,
it's right. The right to speedy trial of VP Duterte, but also the right to speedy trial of the people for accountability.
Right.
So if they do not live up to that, then surely there must be 12 men and women in the 19th Congress the Senate that have the integrity to do their duty under the Constitution. And in the next Senate, 13. And then later on, of course, 16 for
Yeah.
conviction or acquittal. If the evidence is there. If the evidence.
That's right.
But we need the evidence to be presented. Yun ang kailangan natin mangyari. We need the evidence to be presented.
Okay, Attorney, finally, no matter what happens, a lot are saying that definitely baka may pumunta sa Supreme Court. Number one, it benefits everyone daw kasi to establish a precedent. Number two, whether the question of crossover or not, or the question of forthwith, do you think somebody will go to the Supreme Court and to put an end to all these issues?
I think so. Almost sure yan, either way. Diba? Either way. But I think we're pretty confident sa legal argument namin. See, the author of the constitutional provision, Article 11 on public accountability, and the author just put the word forthwith.
That's right.
My fellow professor, graduate school of law, that also issued a very strong statement on this. Si Justice Adolf Ascuna, retired justice. Sabi niya, immediately, agad-agad.
Oo, siya nga daw sumulat nun eh.
Sumulat, agad-agad ang ibig sabihin nun.
Pero aside from that po, do you think there are other reforms, if any, na nakikita niyo po pwedeng gawin pa to avoid in the future itong mga politically motivated delays para po dun sa mga susunod pang mga impeachment trials in the future?
Well, para sa akin kasi dapat nilagay nila sa rules nila automatic. Automatic sila once the articles of impeachment are delivered to them. Diba? Kasi obviously, hindi enough yung forthwith. Kaya automatic. Or pwedeng the next day, ilagay nila as an interpretation of forthwith.
Baka...
It would avoid what start if the Senate, especially Senate President Escudero, understood that this is not about conviction or acquittal. This is simply about, do we allow to be presented? And why can't we allow evidence to be presented?
That's right.
And to think nga, nung February pa ito naipasa sa kanila, hindi pa naipasa sa Committee on Rules. Attorney. Diba, ganun katagal. Alright, with that, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras, Attorney Tony Viña, faculty member of the UP College of Law. Magandang umaga po sa inyo.